Ingeteam Power Technology. Power Grid Automation. Tutorials. Topic: Customized local display elements. In this video, we will learn how to include some customized elements in the local display configuration of an IED with the Energy Factory Suite tool. For that, we first need to access the local display editor via the POC Factory application. Once the application is loaded, we may access the local display editor by clicking on the tag in the configuration column to the left side of the application's window. In the editor, we will create a new screen in which we will add our customized active element. Active elements shall be included by clicking on the Open Disconnect symbol in the toolbar. These active elements have several configuration options, among which the selected group, a drop-down menu on the bottom off the configuration pop-up window, is the most relevant. Within this list, all the predefined image groups shall be found with the most common representations and images for indicator and braking elements. Nonetheless, these image groups may not fulfill the requirements for some configurations, bays, or customer specifications. Therefore, customized image groups and images shall be created in the local display editor. First, we will configure a customized image group with the default images included in the local display editor. In order to access the customized image group configurator, we must click on the group icon in the toolbar below. Then a new window will pop up where all the default images will be listed in alphabetical order. We will click on the New button to create our first customized group. To include the default images to the customized image group, we must select them in the list to the left and move them with the green arrows in the middle. For this example, we will include 5 images at random. Finally, we will have the possibility of rearranging these images with the up and down arrows in the right border of the window. We will close the window so that the modifications are saved into the local display configuration in the application. In case we wanted to modify the newly designed image group, we could open the group window again and look for it in the drop-down menu on the top right corner. Below the drop-down menu, there are some buttons which will allow us to either rename, duplicate, or delete the customized image group. Now that the image group has been defined, it will be available in the Selected Group menu when configuring an active element for our local display. In addition to selecting the image group and the signal, which will be represented in the display, active elements can also have other features enabled. These additional features do also have an effect on the image groups and the representation of active elements. Therefore, it may be necessary to first understand which images are selected for certain signal combinations and configurations to correctly configure customized image groups. Besides creating customized image groups for active elements with the default images of the local display editor, images designed by the user can also be used for customized image groups. We will need to click on the Add Image to User Group tag in the toolbar to import user-designed images to the local display editor. For this example, we will first select the blank_test_big.jpg image. This image does not comply with the requirements for user-designed images. That is a maximum allowed size of 2 megabytes, pixel grid size smaller than 74 x 74, or a recommended pixel grid size of 48 x 48. Since we do not currently have any image files that meet these requirements, we will first design them with the Paint application. First, we will check the pixel grid size of the file, and we will adjust it to 30 x 30. Then, we will proceed by drawing the images for the open, closed, and indeterminate status. The open status will be represented with a black circumference. The closed status will be represented with a black circle. The indeterminate status will be represented with a white cross over a black circle. Each of the images will be saved in a JPG format, which is the only format admitted by the local display editor. With the images ready, we will return to the local display editor and load these into the application with the Add Image to User Group. Afterwards, we will check if these have been properly loaded with the Delete Image from User Group. Now we will create a customized image group with the newly designed images, just like we have done with the default images included in the local display editor. After that, we will use this image group in a simple local display configuration, a single bus bar with an output. We will upload the configuration to the device by clicking on the Tools tag in the toolbar, which will let us establish an FTP communication to the IED to which we will send the local display's configuration. Then we will carry out some tests to check how the image of the active element adjusts to the status of the assigned breaker model data. As it can be seen, the representation of the breaker adjusts to the status of it, which is perceived by the IED via the first two digital inputs. Finally, we now know how to include some customized elements in the local display configuration of an IED with the Energy Factory Suite tool.
Induteam, electrifying a sustainable future.